Christ is in our midst. Today on Friday, April 26th, we commemorate St. Basil the Holy Martyr, Bishop of Amasea, St. Glaphyra the Righteous, and St. Justa the Nun. Regarding St. Basil the Holy Martyr, Bishop of Amasea. This saint was Bishop of Amasea in Pontus in the days of Licinius, who reigned from the year 308 to 324, fellow emperor and brother-in-law of St. Constantine the Great. Licinius' wife Constantia, sister of St. Constantine, had a handmaid, a virgin named Glaphyra. When it became known that Licinius had conceived a sinful desire for her, Constantia secretly sent Glaphyra away to the east. Coming to Amasea, she took refuge with St. Basil. When Licinius learned of this, he furiously commanded that both be brought before him. When the soldiers came for them, however, St. Glaphyra had already departed to the Lord. She is also commemorated this day. St. Basil was taken alone to Nicomedia, where he was beheaded. His body was cast into the sea, but through divine revelation was found again and brought back to Amasea. As a sharer of the ways and the successor to the throne of the apostles, O inspired of God, thou foundest discipline to be a means of ascent to divine vision. Wherefore, having rightly divided the word of truth, thou didst also contest for the faith, even unto blood, O higher martyr Basil. Intercede with Christ our God, that our souls be saved.
Once again, skipping over Isaiah, we continue with Genesis. When Jacob finished charging his sons, he drew up to sleep into bed, and breathed his last, and was gathered to his people. Joseph fell on his father's face, and wept over him, and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father. So the physicians embalmed Israel. 40 days were required for it, for so many are required for embalming. And the Egyptians wept for him 70 days. And when the days of weeping for him were past, Joseph spoke to the household of Pharaoh, saying, If now I found favor in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, I am about to die. In my tomb, which I hewed out for myself in the land of Canaan, there shall you bury me. Now therefore let me go, I pray you, and bury my father, then I will return. And Pharaoh answered, Go up and bury your father, as he made you swear. So Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his household, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, as well as the household of Joseph, his brothers and his father's household. Only their children, their flocks, and their herds were left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen. It was a very great company. When they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which was beyond the Jordan, they lamented there with a great, very sorrowful lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. When the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning on the threshing floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. Therefore the place was named Abel-Meridian. It is beyond the Jordan. Thus his sons did for him as he had commanded them. For his sons carried him to the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave at the field of Machpelah, to the east of Mamre, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephron, the Hittite, to possess as a burying place. After he had buried his father, Joseph returned to Egypt with his brothers, and all who had gone up with him to bury his father. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, It may be that Joseph will hate us, and pay us back for all the evil which we did to him. So they sent a message to Joseph, saying, Your father gave this command before he died. Say to Joseph, Forgive, I pray you, the transgression of your brothers and their sin, because they did evil to you. Now we pray you, forgive the transgression of the servants of God of your father. Joseph wept when they spoke to him. His brothers also came and fell down before him and said, Behold, we are your servants. But Joseph said to them, Fear not, for am I in the place of God? As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today. So do not fear. I will provide for you and your little ones. Thus he reassured them and comforted them. So Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house, and Joseph lived 110 years. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation. The children also of Martyr, the son of Manasseh, were brought up in Joseph's knees. And Joseph said to his brothers, I am about to die, but God will visit you and bring you up out of this land to the land which he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Then Joseph took an oath on the sons of Israel, saying, God will visit you, and you shall carry my bones from here. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him. He He was put in a coffin in Egypt. This is the closing of our Lenten journey through Genesis, as tomorrow is the Saturday of Lazarus. We will close out our final readings of Lent with Proverbs. Open your mouth for the dumb, for the rights of all who are left desolate. Open your mouth, judge righteously, maintain the rights of the poor and needy. A good wife who can find? She is far from more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not harm all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and works with willing hands. She is like the ships of the merchant. She brings her food from afar. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and tasks for her maidens. She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands she plants a vineyard. She girds her loins with strength and makes her arms strong. She perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamps does not go out at night. She puts her hands to the distaff, and her hands hold the spindle. She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out her hand to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household. All her household are clothed in scarlet. She makes herself coverings. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them. She delivers girdles to the merchant. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, he praises her. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her of the fruits of her hands, and let her work praise her, and praise her in the gates.
I hope that you've enjoyed today's spiritual calisthenics. Have a blessed and wonderful day.